Peace to the God and peace to you and yours. This is episode 9, Womb Wars, the spiritual battle over the black woman's body. I am your host, TriGGaTheGod, and you are now tapped into the Mirror Effect podcast with yours truly. Peace to the divine and divine reflection. Tonight we going into the temple, the cosmic gateway, the source of all life, the black woman's womb. Like I said, this episode is called Womb Wars, the spiritual battle over the black woman's body. Because what's happening to her is not just physical, it's metaphysical, it's esoteric, it's ancestral, and it's cosmic. Tonight we speak truth to power. We go beyond the matrix, and we bring healing to the portal itself. The womb is not just a place where life grows. It is a galactic stargate, a multidimensional portal where souls descend through time. The black woman womb has been coded with frequency of Earth's original blueprint, before colonization, before distortion, before war. This is why there has always been an agenda to control, distort, and disconnect her from it. Slavery didn't just shock for her body, it attempted to hijack her portal. Metaphysically, when you disrupt the womb, you disrupt the frequency of creation itself. Let me repeat that. Metaphysically, when you disrupt the womb, you disrupt the frequency of creation itself. Here's a reflection, a question for all of us. What would shift in the world if black women reclaimed full sovereignty over their womb space? The system doesn't just fear her beautiful power, it studies and exploits it. The sterilization, the fibroids, the birth control propaganda, these are not random. They're spiritual assaults masked as medicine. Let me repeat that. The system doesn't just fear her power, it studies and exploits it. The sterilization, the fibroids, the birth control propaganda, these are not just random, they're spiritual assaults masked as medicine. Then there's the hypersexualization, the Jezebel archetype, turning divine erotic power into spectacle, convincing the world the black woman's body is only to be consumed, not revered. That's not sensuality, that's spiritual suppression. When you disconnect a woman from the sacredness of her sensuality, you weaken her creative power, her self-worth, her voice. Here's some solutions. Sacred womb meditation. Visualize golden light spiraling in the womb space, clearing ancestral pain, reclaiming sensuality as sacred expression, not performance, building sisterhood circles where black women can heal and remember their divine divinity together. Black men, we have a duty in this war. Too many of us are caught in lower vibrations, domination, emotional immaturity, and detachment. But the divine masculine is meant to guard, The womb, to hold space, not harm, to amplify her vision, not override it. The womb remembers everything. So when we enter her with trauma, lust, or spiritual fog, we plant distortion into her soil. Let me repeat that. The womb remembers everything. So when we enter her with trauma, lust, or spiritual fog, we plant distortion into her soil. But when we enter her with love, but when we enter her in love, in presence, in spiritual alignment, we activate worlds. Here's a reflection. Black men, are you worthy of her portal? Are you prepared to reflect her divinity or only consume her form? Let me repeat that. Black men, are you worthy of her portal? Are you prepared to reflect her divinity or only consume her form? Solutions: celibacy, fast to rewire sexual discipline, emotional alchemy, practice to transmute anger, shame, and fear, spiritual intimacy over surface level conquests. The womb is not just a site of pain, it's the gateway to collective rebirth. Let me repeat that. The womb is not just a site of pain, it's the gateway to collective rebirth. Every system that exploits her body is dying. Patriarchy, white supremacy, religious control. But for the true liberation, Black women must reclaim their bodies as temples, and Black men must rise as guardians of that sacred space, not just in the bedroom, but in community, family, and spirit. We are not just healing the womb, we are healing the world through the womb. Stand in the mirror and breathe in your womb space. Stand in the mirror and breathe into your womb space. Or honor the womb you came through and say this aloud. I honor the sacred portal. I protect the divine source. I reclaim the truth beneath the trauma. I am aligned with creation, with restoration, with liberation. There's power in that. There's power in the honor of the sacred portal. Like I said, this isn't just a conversation about anatomy or gender. This is a metaphysical warfare. This is the altar and battlefield of human evolution. This is about the portal, the very source through which all life must pass. Black women, your womb is not just flesh, it is technology, it is portal, it is memory, it is weapon and womb at once. And in this age of confusion, manipulation, and illusion, that portal has become a target. So we go deep, we peel back the veil, we honor, protect, and uplift the divine seat of creation. Because if the womb falls, the world crumbles. And if she rises, we all rise with her. Before you ever opened your eyes on this side of the veil, you were floating in a galaxy, a universe. That universe was your mother's womb. The womb is not just a reproductive space. It is a quantum chamber. It stores ancestral memory. It is lined with cosmic intelligence. It listens. It remembers. It feels beyond words. Spiritually, the womb is the meeting point between dimensions. It is where the soul chooses to enter density. The Akashic code of the child is downloaded through the womb space. This is why many ancient African and indigenous societies saw pregnancy as a sacred act of divine alignment, not just biology. For those that study Kemet, the goddess Nut gave birth to the sun each day. In the Yoruba tradition, Oshun rules over the womb, the waters, and the sweet golden intelligence of fertility. In Dogon cosmology, the womb is aligned with the movements of Sirius, the star of ancestral return. So the womb has always been known to be more than a body part. It is a spiritual gateway, a temple, and temples must be protected. If your womb or your mother's womb could speak, what would it say? Would it sing? Would it cry? Would it warn or whisper? Take time to journal this. If you are not a womb holder, honor the part of that brought you here. Now let's talk about the war. From the auction blocks to the operating rooms, the black womb has never been free in this system. Enslaved women were not just raped, they were used as breeding centers, their babies sold for profit. The trauma of forced reproduction is encoded in our collective DNA. The womb remembers. In the 1900s, under the guise of medical advancement, black women were experimented on without anesthesia, most infamously by J. Marion Sims, the so-called father of gynecology. Let's be real. They built Western reproductive medicine on our suffering, and it continues today. High black maternal mortality rates, forced sterilization, medical neglect, generational trauma, even through policy, from the welfare state to the wars on drugs, from the welfare state to the wars on drugs. Systems were built to disconnect black men from their women, distort family structures, and traumatize the womb space with grief, abandonment, and survival. But understand this, a traumatized womb cannot fully create. If you control the womb, you control the future. This is the womb war, and it's been happening in plain sight. Spiritual consequences, energy imprints in the womb. Here's what many don't know. The womb is not just a space, it's an energetic recorder. Every lover, every touch, every violation, every birth, every loss, it all leaves an imprint. This is what our ancestors called residue. This is why cleansing and spiritual womb work is essential, because trauma becomes patterns, patterns becomes behaviors, and behaviors create destinies. Let me repeat that. Trauma becomes patterns, patterns become behaviors, and behaviors create destinies. The womb is not a void, it is a mirror. a mirror of the lineage, a mirror of the lover, a mirror of the unspoken. If you are a man listening, understand your energy enters her portal, your pain, your fears, your rage, they stay with her unless she consciously clears it. This is why sex is sacred. This is why healing is necessary. This is why spiritual alignment must come before lust. Womb ancestral reconnection, guided reflection. I want you to close your eyes, place one hand on your womb, or where your womb would be if you do not physically hold one, and take a deep breath through your nose and exhale out your mouth, and repeat out loud, I honor the portal that brought me here. I call back the lost fragments of my sacred womb. I restore the divine memory encoded in my cells. My womb is protected. My womb is sacred. My womb is whole. Feel that frequency. Feel that frequency ripple through time, through your lineage, through your soul's contract. When you're ready, return. Let's get it clear. And let's be clear. The black woman's womb isn't just a reproductive organ. It's a cosmic gateway, a throne where divine intelligence weaves spirit into matter, a transmitter that holds the codes of civilization, past and future. So what happens when the world is built on stealing from that portal? We've seen it, from forced breeding on plantations to modern medical experimentations without consent, to fetishization in media, to wombs being removed, neglected, numb. This isn't random. This is spiritual colonization, the attempt to rob source of its original technology. When you control the womb, you control the future. And when you disconnect a woman from her creative center, you make her forget she is God in form. Let me repeat that. When you control the womb, you control the future. And when you disconnect a woman from her creative center, you make her forget she is God in form. If the womb is the first altar, who has been worshiping at it and who has been desecrating it? That's a question we all need to answer. Let me repeat that question. If the womb is the first altar, who has been worshiping it and who has been worshiping at it and who has been desecrating it? How has the world taught black women to fear or ignore their own sacred power? Here's a solution activation. Sisters, place your hands over your womb and speak this aloud. I reclaim my sacred center. I am not a commodity. I am a creator. No system, man, or memory owns my temple. I do. My brothers, ask yourself, have I protected the altar or have I trespassed it? Have I worshiped her power or consumed it unconsciously? This is your moment to align with the divine feminine, not through desire, but through reverence. The womb as a memory bank, healing generational codes. The womb isn't just physical, it's metaphysical memory. Every child born through it passes through an ocean of generational experience, joy, pain, fear, resilience, love, trauma. And if you never birthed a child, your womb holds memory. Let me repeat that. If you've never birthed a child, your womb holds memory. Memory of being told your body was too much. Memory of silence during assault. Memory of bloodlines broken and repressed. Memory of power unspoken. But here's the key. Memory can be rewritten. The same way trauma imprints the womb, intention, ritual, and conscious love can reprogram it. Let me repeat that. The same way trauma imprints the womb, intention, ritual, and conscious love can reprogram it. Here's a spiritual practice. A womb clearing ritual, guided visualization. I want you to visualize your womb as a glowing sphere of light. See all cords that do not belong to you, from past lovers, from ancestral pain, from societal judgment, and with each breath, begin to release them. Speak, this womb is mine. This womb is divine. This womb remembers only truth. Here's a reflection. What pain am I holding that was never mine to carry? What has my womb been trying to tell me in cramps, in cycles, in silence? For the brothers, the woman you love, are you helping them heal, or are you hiding from their pain? Stand as a guardian of her evolution, not a consumer of her energy. Pleasure as power, reclaiming sensual sovereignty. This part might make some of y'all uncomfortable, but we gotta talk about it. Because in the Western world, Black women's sexuality has been distorted into two extremes: hypersexualized or desexualized completely. But real talk, pleasure is not sin, pleasure is sovereignty. The womb is not just for pain or pregnancy, it's a pleasure center that connects to God. Why would the Creator design a temple with so many nerves, so much sensitivity, so much ecstasy if it wasn't divine? Let me repeat that. Why would the Creator design a temple with so many nerves, so much sensitivity, so much ecstasy if it wasn't divine? The problem is colonization, religion, and patriarchy have tried to separate the sacred from the sensual. So now our sisters feel guilt for enjoying their own bodies, or they use sexuality to feel power but still feel empty inside. Here's a metaphysical insight. The orgasm isn't just a climax, it's a cosmic eruption. It's a release of life force, a surge of creative energy that opens portals between worlds. The question is, where is that energy going? Are you using it to create, or are you being drained? Women, reclaim your pleasure through intention. Make your sensuality a ritual, not a performance. Hold your belly and ask your womb what it wants, what it feels safe, what feels divine. Hold your belly and ask your womb what it wants, what feels safe, and what feels divine. And for the men, stop seeking to conquer the body and start seeking to commune with the soul. Sex isn't something you do to a woman, it's something you experience with the divine. Ask yourself this: how has shame shaped your connection to pleasure? What would it look like to experience pleasure as a form of prayer? The return of the womb's priestess. Let that settle in your spirit. You were not born to suffer through your body. You were born to channel source through it. Let me repeat that. You were not born to suffer through your body. You were born to channel source through it. We've talked about trauma. We've exposed the colonization. We felt the ache. But now it's time to rise because the age of the womb's priestess is returning. The healer, the creator, the divine feminine intelligence who walks fully in her power. This is episode 9, Womb Wars, the spiritual battle over the black woman's body. I am your host, TriGGaTheGod. Thank you for listening. I want you to like, share, subscribe, and have this conversation with your girlfriend, with your fiance, with your wife, with your significant other about healing their womb, healing each other. Man, heal thyself. This is an important conversation because together we stand, divided we will fall. It began with her and it will end with her. And like I said earlier, this isn't just a conversation about anatomy or gender. This is a metaphysical conversation. And the black woman, your womb is not just flesh. Remember, it is technology. Remember, it is a portal. Remember, it is memory. And in this age of confusion, manipulation, and illusion, that portal has become a target. So we have to protect each other mentally, physically, spiritually. This is for my conscious people. This is for my people that have knowledge itself. Because when you go back and play this, some religious people may be closed-minded to the information of this episode. But I want you to listen without emotion. I want you to be critical in your thinking. If you're religious, cool. If you're spiritual, cool. If you have knowledge of self, cool. But this conversation is important in healing the divine feminine. Because once we heal her, she will and can heal us. That's the mirror effect. That's the projection. Healing starts inside, not outside. The healing starts inside, not outside. Once you heal the inside, it will project outside. I want to give a shout out to everyone that listens to this podcast, that likes, shares, and subscribes. That likes, shares, and subscribe to this podcast. This is episode 9, Womb Wars, the spiritual battle over the black woman's body. Episode 10 coming soon. Peace to the God, peace to you and yours, and I will talk to y'all soon. Peace, love, and light. I'm supposed to feel myself, no doubt, no shame. Embracing my greatness, owning my name. They say stay humble, but I can't contain the fire that's inside of me. Drives me insane. I've been grinding for years, putting in the work. Now it's time to shine, live without a smirk. I'm supposed to feel myself, it's a part of the game. Claiming my throne, nigga, never feeling tame. I overcame the struggles, battled through the pain. Now I'm on top, they can't deny the flame. I'm in my zone, nigga, I'm an unstoppable force, on the rise, staying on the course. I'm out of sight, out of mind, I'm on my grind, yeah. If a nigga play, then he gon' meet his demise. Staying out of sight, out of mind with my 9. I'm destined to shine, I'm the king of my own castle, the ruler of my own fate. I'm living the life I always dreamed of. It is never too late, no, 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 it's never too late, no, no, nigga. Well, that's all your niggas get, nigga, it's a freestyle. Spring Valley, fuck.